Hey there, fellow chicken farmers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 39, Laying Out a Chicken Run. So I would say we have the animals that we need to start this process. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm holding a trap and spelt. I might as well, put this down. I don't know if there's, chickens left. I might have captured all the chickens in this grouping. But, whatever. We'll just put 2 traps there. And I'll try to remember to check them, but if I don't, who cares? We already have, breeding pairs. Yeah, I might have gotten the whole flock. What is the group pronoun for chickens anyway? Is it flock? Like a gaggle of geese, murder of crows. It is flock. I would have figured it would be like a more silly, like those little British group. Alright. Let's get the hen and the rooster in, and then we'll tend to the butchering. Looks like none of the hives are high enough pop for spreading. Yeah. And we're only down to one portion left of one portion left of grain. So once they eat that portion, oh, hey, look. I got eggs. Once you get that portion, we will fill it up with spelt or whatever other grains we have. So next order of business is to tend to butchery and then build the coop. Should be a chuckle of chickens. Am I out of food? I think I'm out of food. I got some grain. My fruit's lowest, but I don't have a lot of fruit other than the honeycomb that I want to eat honey. Let's see. Yeah, I'll use the turnips. We'll do turnip soup with prime meat. I think that's valid. Oh, this is boiled water. I'm just gonna drink it. Come on, get the new water. No, just pour this water out. No, what are you doing? Pour that water out, get new water. There we go. Oh! No, I can't use this jug. Because, I can't do 2 liters of water with that jug. So I'm going to need a bowl. God, making a batch of soup that isn't 3 or 6 is, extra annoying? Goodness me. Note to self, do not try to make batches of soup like this in the future. Ratios are... Oh, yeah, okay. 5 and 5. There we go. I'm very bad at ratios. Or remembering that ratios are a very important thing that Vintage Story requires, or else nothing works. So there we go. We got some food going. I got some raw egg that I should put away. We could start to make, better, higher quality foods with that. So the question I have for you guys is, what flooring to use for the barn or the chicken coop? Strewn straw, packed dirt, Sand, my choice. So I'll show you what they look like. Strewn straw would be this. It's a mix of dry grass and dirt. The idea is to prevent grass from forming. One, because it can spawn rabbits, which I mean, that would be funny to have a chicken coop just have miraculous rabbits appearing. But like, I don't want rabbits competing with the food. And then two, I just want to be able to see like the chickens and the eggs and stuff like that. Then I could also do hay flooring too. So that would be that's what I'm referring to as like straw, just the straight hay, which is that. Y'all know what? Oh, you know, packed dirt. I meant rammed earth. Let me correct that because I'm an idiot and don't know my words. There, I included both. We could also just have sand. You know, whatever local sand is. I think it's probably granite or andesite sand. So, there it is. There's the pole. Well, that cooks. Let's do this. That was a fat pig. That's a lot of meat. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do was to do some smoked meats. I haven't forgotten about that. I'll get around to that in a minute. I just need to not starve first. I think what I'll do is I'll smoke the regular meats and just use the prime meats. Buckets work for quarter portioning? No, that's good to know. I'm going to need to probably get more firewood. There we go. Got the smoker going. Maxu, thank you for the resub. Yeah, it has been a minute, hasn't it? Been a long time. Alright, checking around the farm. We got more spelt that's matured. I'm assuming the last nugget of spelt... Ooh, that was a 13er too. The last nugget of spelt's going to be on its way as well. And this is good, because, like, this is essentially our chicken feed, I think. Because we don't have a lot of flax yet. Now, we have a lot of flax that's about to mature, so that problem's going to self-solve soon. Because, yeah, these are all, like, 8 and 9 about to happen. And then our new farm is 2 of 9, and they're going to grow faster than the other stuff, but the other stuff was going to mature sooner, for sure. So that needs 40 seconds. Okay. Looks like poll's resolved. We'll do strewn straw. Not unreasonable. And because of how easy strewn straw is, I might just go ahead and not bother making a scythe. Because I was considering making a scythe for it, but I don't think I really need to. So, let's just make sure that we have enough firewood for the smoking. Oh, there's high fruit soil here too, underneath. I didn't know that. I knew we had a high fruit soil here, but I never checked down. So I guess there's more high fruit soil here. I just marked it on the map, so we'll get it later. Should be good firewood for now. Because we don't want to run out of firewood for the smoker, because then it will be a failed attempt at a whole bunch of rotten food. Alright, looks good. So the first order of business is to replace the ground in the chicken coop with strewn soil. So that's going to be just dirt and dry grass. So I'll just grab a whole bunch of dry grass. So you know what? Oh, and pig looks done. I might actually make a scythe. I think I'm gonna want one. But yeah, let's do the butchery before I even do this task, so that we can get that offal and whatnot. Five liters of blood. I feel like 4 pigs would have more than that. Obviously, it's not like 100% efficient, but it's like not a lot of blood for a lot of pigs. Then we have lots of bone that can become bone arrows too if we want. And in a day, we'll have 24 pieces of offal. Before I start to make the scythe. Oh, good. This hasn't recalculated. Obviously, there's more nearby flowers than 0. Just hasn't done the math yet. But we've had one of the newer skeps spread. But yeah, before that, I'm sure, yeah, they were out of grain, so. No, don't eat it. There we go. Portion all the way up. And these are fertile eggs, so I'm going to leave them alone. Good job, rooster. It's going to be a little tricky to, like, leave the egg boxes while, like, removing all the floors everywhere else. Obviously, where the egg boxes are can't grow hay, but whatever. Or can't grow grass. So we have a little bit of dry grass here, but I think having a scythe is going to make a lot of sense going forward. So we'll just get a scythe going. And to that end, I'll have enough copper for something else too. So 36 and 4. We'll need to go copper mining soon-ish, because I know I'm sort of low on native copper. But that can wait for at least a bit. Well, that's heating up. Yes, maybe start the leather. Good call. I do have all those hides. Got 7 hides in there. And we have all the leather that we still have yet to use, too. So, I think I can only run 5 through this batch. So I'm sealing at 5 rather than making more lime water because it will take some time to make the tannin. So I'm going to run this batch through, and then as soon as this batch is used up, then I'll bother making new tannin. Yo, you're loud. You're not even that close to me and you're that loud? Goodness. Alright, that's preheated. And the current priority is to build the coop. I'm just gonna, while the bronze melts down, check the traps. I highly doubt there's anything in there, but I might as well check. Rather than staring bronze melt. Yep. I would go so far as to say we've likely grabbed all of the chickens from that brood or whatever. So I'm just going to break the traps down so that I'm not wasting the spelt, because there's no point in just leaving spelt out to rot. I don't think there's more chickens there, and even if there are, I already have the chickens I need, so it's kind of moot. And the rest of these traps can be used for, like, piglets or baby lamb or something. I don't know. We can consider doing some additional animal husbandry later on. And I'm back just in time. But they only stack into 2s? Oh, these aren't empty? Wait, what? What do you mean they're not empty? Is this a bug? This one says empty. These don't. What? They're all empty. Game, what are you on about? There we go. Now they're stackable. Because I magically... I don't know what happened there. That was weird. But alright, sure. Whatever. I'm just trying to conserve space, and the game was like, nope, sorry. These baskets are different. Alright. First batch of smoking has completed. You know what? Let's just leave the fire going, and I'll just smoke up more meat. And I don't care about stacking it, because it lasts for like 90 days. Yeah, it's probably from ones being recovered from a trap and ones not. But the fact that they're like classified as being different, like, makes very little sense to me. I think I need a roughly 20 firewood in the fire to complete a smoking. I'll put 22 just in case. I think 20 is like the correct amount. There we go. We got another batch of smoked meat so that it don't spoil. My bronze ingots are probably still hardening, or whatever you want to call it. Hey, Sea Turtle. Thanks for checking in for yet another month. I appreciate it. Always welcome. So we do have our first batch of leather. I wanted to explain the things we can do with leather. So one obvious thing that we could do with leather, which would help out a lot, would be, and this is probably what I'm going to do for the first batch of leather, which is to make a leather backpack. So we have enough leather, 2468. We have enough leather for one of these, but almost two after our second batch. And a leather backpack is going to be one more storage slot, or two more storage slots than the hunter backpacks that I got right now, which, you know, adds up. We're going to go from 16 to 24 slots, which is pretty helpful. The other things you can do with them, I would not consider making like mounts and stuff, because like that's nice to haves, not need to haves. You can start to work on leather armor. So the purpose of leather armor is it would raise my protection tier up, but it doesn't help with cooling. It would warm me up, which is a problem for the biome that I live in, because like I live in a hot area. So that is a bit of an issue, I guess. The other thing we could do with it is we could get a bow case or a quiver, so that I have like a quick slot. And if we wanted that, we would need a bags belt. So with the quivers and the sheaths mod, we have like a belt slot here. And then on your belt, you can have like a sheath for a sword, or a fox in this case, or you can have a quiver, and this essentially gives you more storage space, specifically for like bows or swords or arrows or whatever. That's another thing we could potentially do with it. And then if we did go the leather armor route, one of the advantages is leather armor is a requirement for other armors too. So like plate armor, for instance, is chain body armor. Well, alright, chain body armor, I should say, is a body jerkin plus chains. Obviously, I wouldn't be making gold. So if we do go that route, essentially the issue is leather armor is better than jerkin armor, but jerkin armor becomes other armor, right? So like the body jerkins, for instance, is a 40% protection tier 1 armor with the durability of 250. And then for reference, the leather armor is 60% protection tier 1 with the durability of 700. But with that said, the leather body armor doesn't go anywhere. It is not an ingredient for anything else, right? Whereas the jerkin is an ingredient for the Burgundian armor, the chain armor, and itself, obviously. So if we did leather armor, we could go with the jerkin, knowing that we'll eventually make chainmail, likely. As chainmail chainmail generally, I would say, is a good compromise between mobility and protection. You can have more protection with plate, you can have less protection with... Because the other alternative is we could go entirely for getting metal, because there's not a lot of animals and enemies that are going to cause us a lot of problems. And what we could do instead is take our flax twine and create gambeson armor. Because that's a totally different route, which might make more sense. The advantage of the gambeson armor is it has pretty good protection. It's protection tier 2. So that's going to protect us from like sheep, goat, boar, etc. But it has incredibly good mobility. That there's really not a mobility penalty for gambeson armor. The problem with gambeson armor is a lot of flax. So we would need a lot of linen for it. And the reason why I'm going into the detail here is with our leather, I'm not really sure what to do with it. The obvious choice would be the leather backpacks, because, like, that's super good utility. But if we are to consider making armor out of it, we could either do leather armor, jerkin armor, knowing that we can eventually get metal armor, or forget armor entirely and just use it for utility items. So, how to use our leather. Backpack, belt and quiver or sheath, jerkin, leather armor, or my choice. Them's the list. But yeah, I could definitely see going gambeson armor. Normally in Vintage Story, you would not... Most players wouldn't be satisfied with gambeson armor, because gambeson armor isn't going to protect you from the horrors that you typically face in Vintage Story. But for the scope of this Homo Sapien run, I don't have, like, Tier 3 and Tier 4 horrors and temporal storms and stuff like that, that gambeson armor just is not good enough for, which means it's far more of a reasonable choice in this series. With that said, it does compete with wanting a health hammer, because a health hammer is driven by a windmill, and a windmill requires a lot of linen, and gambeson armor requires a lot of linen. So you have to kind of pick and choose. Alright, bronze is probably ready to go. After that long-winded well, actually, I think the game was paused for that explanation. Yeah, it's still soft. Check the fish traps. I really just haven't been bothering to do fish. Like, at all. Yeah, one rotted immediately. I should probably pull the traps at some point, knowing that, like, I'm the world's worst fisherman. And I just get all the fish killed. Time to change it to a fishing line? Nah. It's time to divest, not invest. Oh, even my 2 cents. Alright, Browns, it's time. Almost. Yeah, with how I treat the fish, I've basically been making terra preta out of it. Exactly. I just like let them rot, and then grab the rot, and and I'll eventually make like high quality fertilizer out of them. All right, looks like a backpack. So the follow-up question is kind of an important one, and it might not be the only time, I'll be honest, that I'm going to be pulling on this, because I'm not really making the decision right now. But what armor should I consider making? Jerkin to rig or chain. leather, gimp, or other. And with that first batch of leather, let's go ahead and phase out one of our hunter backpacks with a leather one. There we go. Alright, so we want a scythe head, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with the other ingot. I'll have to, like, just consider potential projects. Because there isn't... I'll just, like, make a tool I don't have. Maybe a... I really don't. Maybe a wrench? I'm trying to think of some other typical tools people make that I have yet to. No, I wouldn't need a pickaxe. I'd only ever consider tools I don't currently have. Because I'll just repair my pickaxe when it breaks. I don't need a second. I have two right now, actually. I have a copper one over there, and I have my bronze one. And my bronze one has only been repaired once, I think. It's got life left in it. Man, this scythe head kind of looks like a shotgun. More than a scythe head. There we go. We got the scythe for the grass. I think that, honestly, it's overkill, but, like, I might want it in the long run. Alright, what other tools do I not have? I don't have a cleaver, but I don't think I'm going to need a cleaver anytime soon. I don't have a spearhead. But that's another one that is probably low use. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of wrenches. But whatever, I'll just make a wrench. One's probably all that I'm ever going to need, so I'll have my one wrench that I've made once and be good with it forever. What weapons do I have in this mod pack? Well, that's just check the details. But TLDR, like, kind of none. I've got quivers, but that's not a weapon on its own. Come on, go in the hole. All right. So we got our scythe made, and that's gonna make making the floors. Wait, why do I have a fish egg in this? What the heck? Who put fish eggs in there? Well, all right, whatever. I'm eating them. I don't know where that came from. And I'm gonna leave the wrench in here. So what the wrench does, it allows you to, like, rotate things that are installed. I don't know when I'll need it, but whatever. We have one now. I could have done a spear, but I have a Voxel, which is like a stronger spear, so I didn't really see the utility of having a weaker one, unless I intended to throw it a lot. And the advantage of this thing is it cuts grass in a 3x3. So if you're looking to have to feed like sheep, or to make something out of a lot of grass, it's not a unreasonable tool to have. Which mod adds quivers? I think, I hate to be rude, but I think you can answer this yourself. If you look at the mod list, literally one is called quivers. So through the power of elementary level deductive reasoning, I believe you can source the answer yourself. If I'm digging up soil to make into chicken ground, I might as well use the forest floor, because forest floor soil doesn't really have a lot of other uses. Yeah, it also works in cattails and papyrus. So if I ever wanted to start a cattail and papyrus farm, setting them up in like 2x2 block chunks or something like that could also be useful, yes. Because out in the wild in nature, you don't typically have cattail like side by side with one another. But if you plant it that way, it becomes really easy to harvest it that way. Well, I was surprised to see you guys go jerk into chain. But that might be a better use of my God, words. Leather than wow. Sorry. Brain did big hiccup. That might be a better use of my linen, not having to go gambeson. The real advantage, I would say, of the gambeson is most armor in Vintage Story will make bow accuracy harder. So if you're trying to land long-range archery shots, wearing armor really is your disadvantage. Now, there's not a lot of fights that I think I'm going to have to get into where I'm going to have to be accurate with the bow long range. In default Vintage Story, there is a lot of enemies that will fit that bill, but, like, not so much in a Homo Sapien run, right? Because I'm not trying to, like, kill Bowtorn, which are, like nightmare ranged critters, and, you know, there's not going to be, like, drifters and shivers and things like that. So, with that said, yeah, there's not a lot of opportunity for me to do a lot of long-range combat. Maybe the occasional bear, but that's about it. Meaning that, it's not, I would say, all that necessary for me to invest heavily into gear that allows me to fight long range effectively. Alright, so we've got all of our lovely strewn straw, which we are using to line the chicken area. How's the offal going? We need a few more hours on that. Lime wash, more hours in that. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig out the coop area and make sure that they've got they're not competing with like bunnies or anything like that. Also might want to get some other troughs because they're very quickly going through the available amount of food. So this is what strewn straw is going to look like. It does look kind of like barn floor. And then I do plan on building some sort of structure here. Which, once I replace the flooring, we can do next. And oh, that's the wrong thing. As a reminder, this isn't strictly aesthetic. In the game, rabbits can spawn in medium length grass or longer. And it's not to say that it happens frequently, but you really do not want medium length grass, especially not where you grow crops. Because if you have like a fenced in farm area, you're going to lose food to pests if you allow long grass to grow. It's a weird mechanic for sure, It's weird that like animals can just like appear out of nowhere. And that also will change based upon biomes. So if you live in like the Arctic, okay, yeah, maybe that's not an issue for you. And I don't have a lot of bunnies around where I am. But it's not to say that jackrabbits can't live in this biome, or hares. I don't know, like desert hares can probably survive in this biome, same with like brown hares. Normally what they would, I don't know what their temperature tolerances are, but I'm sure they're allowed, because it's not like super frigid or anything like that. And I might want to do this piecemeal, because those eggs will get neglected if I'm around too long. That's one of the features. Because I don't have a Gen 3 Plus chickens, they're freaking out around me. And because they're freaking out around me, they don't attend to their own eggs. And they won't attend to their own eggs until I'm gone. They're just panicking. And you can see the problems there, where we have a broody hen is required for that egg. So I think what I'll do is I'll just get the floors down, and then I'll make myself scarce so that the eggs cannot be neglected. I'm also considering maybe replacing the terrain underneath the fences too, so it's not like a weird green line, because it looks like an artificial outline. So I'm thinking about that as well. It looks a little strange. But for now, there we go. It's a lot easier to counter our hens. But yeah, I think I will replace the outline, because it looks so artificial, like astroturfed, as it is now. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.